think it's been a little while since I did any kind of like introduction video. So I just figured I would just kind of put some things out there for you. I grew up in the 80s. Well, if you can call it growing up. I was in high school in the 80s. How's that? And I went to Eastern Michigan University when they were Hurons. Our drum major in marching band, I was in marching band the whole time, and our drum major wore a full headdress, and he did the war cry at Eastern when we were the Hurons. And then, and that's where I met my first husband. And when I graduated, we ended up moving in together, and then we got married, and then we had a couple kids, and they were little, and he decided he didn't want to be married anymore. So I raised the kids myself for a number of years. I think it was about, I don't know, 5 or 7 years. I can't remember now. It seems so long ago. But when my first husband and I first rented our first house, I did gardening like as much as they let me do. And so every space that I could garden, I did at the rental house. And I learned a lot of things along the way. My grandma was also a master gardener. She was in Troy, Michigan. And so she passed on some tips to us. And I learned things from her as well. And then after single parenting for a while, I met my current husband, and he had 2 kids who were older than my kids. I think they were teenagers at the time. So we moved in. He sold his house in Birmingham, and I sold my house in, well, I didn't sell my house, but I moved out of I moved out of the house in the rental house in Ferndale, bought my first house in Hazel Park, which is actually where I was raised, was Hazel Park. So after my husband and I met, my second husband and I met, we, then I sold my house in Hazel Park. He sold his house in Birmingham, and we moved in together in a house in Warren. And thankfully it was really large. So there was a bedroom for every child, plus our bedroom, and many bathrooms and a couple living rooms. So there was room for everybody to do their own thing and be their own people, which was good, because kids need their spaces. So, but one of the things I did when I would get stressed out from being a stepmom and trying to manage the house. And my husband also is a Navy chief, so he would be gone 1 weekend a month and 2 weeks in the summertime for his Navy Reserve duty. So I had to manage the house while he was gone. And why are we doing construction here? This is not good. And it was a little hectic, because all the kids lived with us full time, and we had a couple dogs, and we had a lot of cats, and we had fish and turtles, and the friends of the kids would come over too, and there were a lot of activities. They were involved in like softball and baseball and football and you name it. They were involved in it, and I don't know why this person isn't gonna why would you not let me over? That's kind of silly, isn't it? But that's okay. Anyway, so when I wanted to decompress, I would go out and garden in the backyard at a suburban house in in Warren. And by the time the kids grew up and moved out, and by the time we sold the house to move out to where we are in Macomb Township, the gardens of the house, the whole exterior of the house was surrounded in gardens, and then the perimeter of the yard was all surrounded in gardens. And then when we first bought the house, there was a swimming pool with a deck, and we eventually, because the kids didn't use the swimming pool, we tore the swimming pool down, and it stayed just a bare spot of sand for at least 2 years. And I said, I really need somebody to make a design for us, and I will, we'll install the design that they give to us. So I had someone come over. They did basically a garden consultation for me in my yard, and they made a plan for us. It included a cute utility shed. It included a dry river bed. It included a fire pit patio place with stone, and a place where we could all just kind of chill in the backyard and have a good time. So we installed all of that, as well as all the other gardens from when I had been using the gardening as a stress reliever. And so also while we were living there, because we were there 2005 in Warren, we were there 2005 till 2016. So we were there, at least 10 years. And 16, that says 11. But anyway, while we were there, toward the end of the time there, I did go get a Master Gardener certificate from, I did become an MSU Extension Master Gardener volunteer, and kept that up for a couple years. And then I think it was around COVID. I think when COVID hit, it was also a time where they wanted like a whole bunch of references as well for it, which I thought was kind of weird. But what really kind of got to me was that they wouldn't let you do volunteer hours. So you couldn't do volunteer hours outside during COVID, which was kind of a bummer, because I was tending to our church garden, our church butterfly garden. They had asked me to create, and using those as the hours, and they were like, well, we're not even gonna, I don't know if it was they weren't gonna accept it or what it was gonna be. I can't remember now, but so I do have my Extension Master Gardener volunteer designation. I'm considered inactive because I haven't kept turning in the CEUs and done the learning and things that they want us to do. The other part is I do so much gardening now for other people and for myself that I can't count anything that I do myself as volunteer hours, and I can't count any paid jobs that I had for volunteer hours. So I could either get paid for it or use it as volunteer, but I can't do both. So I decided to let that kind of go. But I did receive all the training back when it was face-to-face. You get a big old binder and you take tests and you just learn amazing things. It's like a fire hydrant full of information that you learn through the Master Gardener program. So it was a wonderful program. I think now you don't have to go, I don't know, you might have to come face-to-face now, but during COVID or a little after COVID, they were doing it where you could take the classes online and get credit for it. But again, those volunteer hours were going to be tough to get. So, let's see, what else? When my daughter was very young, I think I was pregnant with my son. So this is way back, because my daughter was born in 95, and my son in 97. I had applied for nursing school, and because I thought, yeah, I really want to do nursing school, and I had taken all the prerequisites for it, and I thought I was going to have to wait a year, which was going to be good because I was pregnant with my son. But they said that they wanted me to start that fall, and he was going to be born in January or in February. And at first, I don't know why, I was scrambling to get all my stuff together to get ready to do that. And then maybe it's just the pregnancy hormones or something, but then I realized this is this is not gonna be feasible. So to try to, do nursing school plus have a baby and all that kind of stuff, no. So what I did is I took all of that, all those prerequisites, and I said, what else can I do where I'm not going to have to be on my feet all the time? It's not going to be as grueling as nursing school. And that's when I took I took my things from my bachelor's degree that I already had. Oh, my bachelor's was in music education. So I can be a band director, choir director, orchestra director, those kinds of things. And so now what I joke about is I use it a lot for project management or design management even. Like I'll be like, okay, a little bit more yellow, a little less on the pinks, and a little bit more on the tall things, a little less on the short things, and things like that. So I do use it. But just not in the same capacity that I would typically use that degree. So what I did is I took my bachelor's degree classes, and I also took the pre-nursing classes, and I applied it to Health Information Technology program through Schoolcraft College. And this is an awesome degree, guys. If you're thinking about getting into healthcare and you're not sure where to go with it, it's a 2-year associate degree. And like I said, all the prerequisites are the same as for nursing. Now, you're not going to have to do hands-on blood and gut stuff, but what you do is you'll read the record. You'll know all the different parts of the record, and you can do all kinds of different things with the 2-year degree. So it's good. It's a good thing to have. So I ended up going. Oh, and when I applied, I think it was the following years when I actually started that program. And when I was first starting that program, that's when my husband said he didn't want to be married anymore, which I thought was going to be devastating because, I still had 2 little kids to raise. Well, what it meant is I got a full ride for tuition and books for the 2-year degree. Plus, I was receiving food stamps and WIC and things like that as well. 2-year degree. Yeah, I got it all paid for. I had no idea. That was going to happen, and I was just so grateful. My program director came to me after class one day and said, hey, I need you to sign this form, this form, this form, this form. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So I'm signing these forms. And then I get done, I go, and what were those for? And she says, well, did you want your tuition and your books paid for? I was like, okay, yeah, thank you. So very, very grateful to the program through Schoolcraft. It was called Chips to Computer or Computer to Chips, or I can't remember, something like that. It was for single parents. It was a single parent grant, and I did not have to worry about paying for tuition or books. It was wonderful. So background, education. Tam, how'd you get in this business? Well, I had been following some life coaches, and I said, I'd really like to be a life coach. And this is kind of a little bit after COVID. I said, I'd like to be a life coach. I said, they have a life coach school. It's kind of costly though. And then I said, I wonder if they have a garden coach program. So I just typed in garden coach in Google, and sure enough, there was a program for learning how to be a garden coach, which was through Gardenery and Nicole Burke, and it was so cool. So while I'm doing my regular coding job, working at home, I signed up for Gardenery for Nicole Burke's, I can't even remember what it was called. It was a class, and it was I think it was 6 months long. Great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
You too. And every day was something new about starting a business and running a business and doing the finances and getting a name and getting a website and all of that stuff. It was amazing. Her program is amazing. I don't know if she's still running it, but it is amazing. And my brain was super full because I was learning a lot. But it was good information to have on how to start up the business and run the business. And so I started the business in February of 2021. It is called The Lazy Northern Gardener. I do have a Facebook page, an Instagram, Twitter account, a YouTube channel, and I'm on a Pinterest. And I think that's all I'm going to do. I don't think I'm going to do TikTok or any more social media platforms because I can't keep up with all of them. But we did move out to Macomb Township in June of 2019. We have a homestead. It's less than an acre. It's about 3/4 of an acre. That's usable land. And we have a greenhouse, chicken coop, orchard, cut flower gardens, raised kitchen garden beds, cattle pedal trellises, fenced areas. I'm all about fencing. Fences are your friends. And I like to show you basically, what are the things I'm doing right now? What am I doing today? Or what am I doing this week? Or what can I tell you to prepare for a week from now or for 2 months from now? So, for example, in January, I think it was, I was encouraging you guys to plan out, decide, what do you want to grow? What do you want to grow? How many of them? How much space do you have? If you didn't have a garden, where are you going to put the garden? And then February, I was encouraging you to order seeds. Again, thinking about what do you want to grow, planning it out, drawing it out if you need to, building your beds if you could. Because like in the fall and the winter months and in the super early spring when there's nothing really growing yet, that's a great time to build beds and plan out the areas that you want to grow in. And so what I like to do is just throughout the year, just kind of give you tips. I hate to say that, it sounds so cliche, tips and tricks, but from all the way from planting all the way to harvesting and preserving and sometimes cooking, because I'm not a big time cook yet, but I do like to try new things. And when I try something, I like to share it with you. And I will share the failures, and I will share the successes, and I will share, whatever I'm going through with you. And I want to be your cheerleader. I do want to be your coach. You can get private coaching with me, where I will actually talk about your specific garden with you for a concentrated period of time, which is different than like, maybe you've been growing for a little while and you're running into the same kind of problem, so you post on a bulletin board, or you post on a Facebook bulletin board. See, I'm dating myself. Or you post on a Facebook group or gardening group, and people's advice is all different. People's attitudes are all different. Some people are really like, you're doing it wrong and you do this. Some people are like, you're doing it all right, just don't worry about it. And they don't explain why things are happening or not happening the way that you're hoping. But what I like to do is dig into why are things happening, what could be happening, what you could do to take care of it. I actually like to go back into the prevention part. Are there things you can do to prevent these things from happening, and that kind of thing. I like to work with people where they are, new, middle, advanced gardener. I don't care what your skill level is. I probably can help you in some way with something. So I do garden coaching. I also do garden consultation, where I come to your garden in your space, in your yards, and I walk around, and if maybe you've got a specific thing you want me to look at, we'll look at that. I'll take photos. I'll get you educational material. And then as I'm walking around your yard, I can take photos of different things that I will compile in a big report, a written report. I'll tell you verbally while I'm there, and then I will compile it in a written report, and it'll be like not a check-off list, but hey, here's this situation, and your trees or shrubs would do better if you do this. Here's this situation I saw, and it could be due to this. Here's the evidence of this critter I saw, and you might want to try this. And so that way you get to decide what you want to tackle from there on out. And then I also will do quotes for you. So whatever work it is that you wanted me to do, I'll provide a quote for you. But then I'll also give optional things within the quote. So maybe you're coming in, maybe you want me to come in and plant a butterfly garden. So I'll give you a quote for that, and I'll tell you when it would be done. And usually my quotes include labor and the materials. So I go shopping for the plants for you. It also includes the design. And then maybe I'll have for optional, I'll have like plant bulbs in the fall for spring bulbs in the fall. And then you get to decide what kinds of things you want to get done based on my price point, and maybe you want to shop around. That's okay too. I have no problem with that. Things I cannot do right now. I cannot lift giant boulders. I cannot move great amounts of soil. I don't have a backhoe. I do not have a tractor like that. But I can fill my car with plants. I even can put trees in there. I have a trailer hitch now, and I'm buying a trailer shortly. So I can even I've transported trees in this Subaru before, so I can do those kinds of things. I can make designs for you and planting plans that you can purchase. I can make you build designs for like raised kitchen garden beds or do your roof fencing. And you can purchase them from me, and then you can just do it yourself if you want. So I can help you with your growing guides. How much space does what need? I can help you with deciding where you want to put your first garden, or if you wanted to move your garden because you need more light, where's a good spot for that? So I can do those things for you. But anyway, I just wanted to tell you who I am. Tammy Lowe, the Lazy Northern Gardener, originally from Hazel Park. Moved over to Ferndale, moved to Warren, and now I'm living in Macomb Township. But I've seen the world. I've been all kinds of places: Japan and Korea and Hawaii and Alaska and Puerto Rico and Costa Rica, and I've been around the world, and I like to travel, but I also love to help you with your gardens. I can help install them. I can install them for you totally, where you just sit and drink some tea and you just don't mind it. And then you see the butterflies coming and the bees coming as soon as we start planting. What is going on, Tam? They like it. So you don't have to do any of the work. You can do some of the work. You can do none of the work. You can do all the work. And I just give you a plan, whatever you want to do. But I gotta go. It's Vacation Bible School week. So I'm gonna head over to the church now. And Tammy Lowe, Lazy Northern Gardener, saying I love you, and I want to encourage you. Learn and grow some more. Bye.